Hey everyone, welcome back. It's been a hot minute. Today's project, we're going to be doing a axle seal on a Woods 6180. I developed a little leak on the, what we call it, final drive on the left drive pump motor. So I got parts. We're going to drain the system, pull the drive motor, separate the final drive off the pump, and then to replace the seal, pull the axle shaft off and reassemble and have at it. So on these Woods mowers, they have the Gemini 771 final drive pump assembly. If you get a puddle on the ground underneath your axle by your tire, you might think it's this seal right here, but that's not actually a seal. That is actually your bearing. It's a sealed bearing. The axle seal is actually inside, well, right about here on the axle shaft. I got a parts one right here. So that little seal right in the center of the shaft, that's what we're going to be replacing. It's like $9 from a case dealer that sells them. There is snap rings on both ends. You're going to have a snap ring on this side of the housing. And then on the inside of the housing, on where the final drive goes into, you have a washer on the inside with that side of the shaft coming through it. It's only going to be sticking up probably about yay far. And then this is your snap ring that's on the inside of the housing. So unfortunately, to replace the seal, you actually have to pull the final drive apart, pull the gears out just to get that snap ring, and then yeah. So first thing we're going to have to do, we're going to have to remove this linkage from your shock absorber on each pump. There's two of them here. I'm going to do that bolt, or that nut, and then we'll release these two bolts, or nuts up here, pull this entire cover off, and then we'll go from there. So for these linkages, it's going to be a 1/2 inch wrench or socket, whatever you feel like using. This bushing that's in here, or sleeve, whatever you want to call it, you have to hold that to break it free. Those top nuts are going to be a 7/16. Next step, pull the belt off the pulley for the drive motor. Or at least just pull off the tensioner for now. Alright, we got another linkage. It's for your joystick. It's also a 1/2 inch. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drain the oil out of the hydraulic tank. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this PTO shield off. But we got access to our bolts that hold the hydraulic pump on to the housing on the inside. Doing this is pretty much the same thing on either side. Same stuff hold it together. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to disconnect all of our linkages for the parking brake. So you got to loosen up this bracket right here. There's a bolt on the inside. Undo your pins, slide your pins out, disconnect your linkages to your pump motors, and then that will basically shimmy itself out. I guess next up we could do is take our hydraulic hoses off, let the system drain. Then we'll start unbolting the assembly from the frame up here. If I remember, there was these two on a block. I want to say there was 6 or 8 smaller bolts up here on the side, and possibly a couple more at the top. Not sure how well you guys are able to see this, but give her a shot. I'm gonna have to see if I got a 7/8 class cutter already. So I don't have a 7/8, that's a shorty, so we're gonna make one. Got it. Alright, let's try this again. So next thing we got to do is just pull that cooling fan off and the spacer. So that nut or the bolt that's on the fan blade is going to be the 7/16. And it's pretty tight to get in there. So those inside bolts, they're going to be 3/8. There's going to be one here, one here, one down here. There's actually two down there. You got one in this back corner, back on this other side, and then it's the same on the bottom. So it'd be 6 bolts, 8 bolts, my bad. Next, we're going to drop these 2 bolts. There's a block right here. It's got to come out too. Doesn't have to, but it will. And then this will probably drop, make a big mess. So we'll move that. So we'll go top grab that. So to pull this pump out, I kind of overlooked this part right here. To drop this pump, you got to pull that filter off so it clears everything. So we're going to try to pull that right now. Try at least. If I was smart about this, I'd bolt it back up just for temporarily. Which I might just do that. Because why fight it? Alright, I got it cleaned up a little bit. Next up, let's take these 8 bolts off the final drive to the hydraulic pump. This part's going to separate right around here. Then when you take this off, be really careful because there's a lot of crap in there. It's going to fall out. And it's going to... Just don't drop it on the floor. Let's put it that way. I just had this apart because I rebuilt I had to redo all the gears in the inside probably not even a week ago, so I'm not afraid of these bolts snapping off, being that I just had it all apart. Me being stupid and excited, I should have put the axle seal in it when I had it all torn apart, so I have to do it again, but being excited, I want to test it out for this first try. Yeah. Some might know how that goes. Oh, yeah. Get that out of our way. When I'm working on something like this, carburetors, anything with a lot of small parts, I like to use a cookie tray, throw a towel in it, help absorb all the oil and all the crap that falls out, and then it holds all the loose pieces so they don't disappear on you. So this is going to be your steel band. This is going to be your friction disc. On the inside of the other housing, there's going to be a little cutout for your friction block. This is for your parking brake system. And then you get into here, you got your first set of gears. You'll probably pull that out in one piece. Just make sure you don't drop any of these gears on the ground because they are stupid expensive. Especially these ring gears. I think they're like 260 or something like that a piece. That's all that's inside of your final drive. There is one more gear inside the hydraulic pump that I did not take out, which I will here pretty soon. We'll set this off to the side. Alright, so on the inside of the shaft, like I was saying earlier, you got a snap ring on the inside. You want to make sure you pull that out before you try beating the shaft out, because you're going to mess it up pretty good. Take that thrust washer off. I don't know if that's a thrust washer or not. I'm just going to call it that for now. Then you got another snap ring right here on the inside. So we got the housing all cleaned up. We're getting ready to install their axle seal. This is a part number. This is a Grasshopper part, which, if I remember right, the 6180 crosses over to like a 618 Grasshopper. So parts, filters for a 618 will fit as long as it has the Gemini 771 pumps. So when we put this seal on there, we're going to lube our shaft up with some dielectric grease just to prevent any ripping of the seal. I'm going to move it around, make sure the rubber is seated properly. It's not folded over anywhere. And we'll visually inspect that too on both sides. So that's good. We'll get our snap ring back on. So we're just going to check out this spare shaft I got just for a reference, make sure we got it going together the right way. So I don't want to pull this pump again unless it's blown. Put our outer snap ring back in. Move it around, make sure that seats. That looks good. Alright, so depending on how you put this pump on this final drive, usually you're supposed to put the final drive in the vise, then put the pump upside down and try dropping it in place. That's how I did it last time I put it on. That's how I was advised to put it on. And I fought for a good hour and a half to keep your brake puck in place, get everything lined up, not mess the RTV up. So I'm going to try something a little bit different this time. I'm going to just lay it on its side like this, and then just slide this final drive on. Hopefully that works, because I don't want to fight with it again like last time. So yeah, let's give it a shot.
No.
It's doing what I didn't want it to do. And that friction ring's full of RTV now. Lovely. I'm going to pause you guys, swear a couple times, get this cleaned up and do it again. Alright, got it all cleaned up, said a few swear words. Let's try it again.
Hopefully it goes.
That was total fun. Let's do that again. Not. So when you put this final drive part on the wow, we put it on the hydraulic pump, you want the flat spot to go up. So on this side, let's see if we can do this without screwing it up again. Oh, you bastard. Alright, let's try it again for round, I don't know, 3 or 4. So, this flat part, this has got to be up, so it bolts the frame of the mower. Let's fight with this again. Oh yeah.
Let's see, that works. Oh, really?
Now we're off to getting this upper hose put on, getting our belt on with our fan. So let's get this hose on. Oh, Apparently I made another 7/8 last week when I was doing this. Cool, I got 2 stubbies now. They come in handy. You can do that too, just throw parts at it.
Almost that for you guys.
Alright, so before I put these new filters on, I'm going to clean up the mating surface on that filter housing. Just take a rag with some brake clean, give it a wipe down in case there's any dirt or oil or crap that fell into it when we're putting it on. Alright, so like I said earlier, we have a case dealer fairly local to me that sells grasshoppers and supplies grasshopper parts. So here's the filter number. These things are pretty hard to find online. Very little information. I looked on, the one I did find was on Messic's website. It had a, I want to say the filter said it was discontinued. Or was that axle seal that was discontinued? I can't remember what it was. But they were like $40 a filter almost. Luckily I found these for like, I want to say they're like $21 or $22 a piece. So I'm not going to call this a how-to video just because I'm learning as I go. I'm figuring it out as I go. Making it work. So if this helped you with any, I don't know what you want to call it. If this gave you any leads on how to do yours, or information on how to do yours, or an idea, cool. If not, cool. If you like this kind of a video, let me know so I can make more. I got tons of projects going along. Doing a motor swap in my Cub Cadet behind all that other garbage back there. It's getting a 27 horse Kohler. Potentially restore my forklift. I got a brush hog I'm rebuilding. Finish mower I'm rebuilding. Or 2 finish mowers. Crank seal on a Kohler Courage. I got tons of projects going, so if you guys like these kind of mechanical videos, let me know. And I'll shift my focus on making more videos for you guys on that kind of stuff. So with that, hopefully I see you in the next one. Have a good one.